All right, part one. This is your practice for today. There is a little bit of an assignment attached with this. So, first of all, we're going to be practicing sight words / read words and open syllables, what we learned yesterday. Putting it all together. Okay. So, the first thing you have to do, you have to decide if you want to do the little scavenger hunt for a little bit of fun for this, or if you just want to get straight to the point. Either one is acceptable. So if you want to do the scavenger hunt, you're going to listen a little bit longer. And it's just a little bit more fun, out of your seat movement. Okay, nothing crazy. If you don't care to do that, this is what I want you to do. I want you to walk over and grab the unit 7 through 14 sight word paper. Okay, it's in that box at the bottom, in the middle. It's the second column and the second one down. So grab one of those, and you want your first 8 sight words on unit 8. Okay, it's the no now one. Okay, if you want to do, so now you're just going to listen to the scavenger hunt. You can kind of skip through a little bit, just make sure you don't skip too much. If you want to do the scavenger hunt, those of you in part 2 are going to go around the room, try to be respectful of the part 1 kids who are doing red words today with me. So you are looking for 8 note cards with your first 8 sight words of the year on there. It's like the no, now, new, that one. So there's 8 of them. So you are going to find them. Once you find one, I need you to go put it on the horseshoe table. The horseshoe table is where they'll all be displayed if you need it. Okay, so go ahead and go and see how many you can find. The whole point is that you put the note card on the horseshoe table and that one's out. So like once there's like 3 on the table, that means there's 5 left out there to be found. Okay, so please be respectful and quiet. This is pretty silent because the part 1 kids are doing red words. None of the cards are going to be towards the front of the room. They're all going to be towards the back. Okay, all right. Just take a couple minutes and do that just for fun. If you just have the words in front of you already, you can get started. So pause this video until you're done finding all the cards if you're doing the fun version, and unpause when you're ready. Okay, so now that you have all your words, first and foremost, I want you to write all 8 of them down. Okay, Sorry, I just had to get the marker that I wanted. Your words are no, now, no. If you hear kids screaming, it's because there's a football game outside of my house. And that's what that noise is. Okay, new, any, many, only, pretty. Okay, those are your sight words that you're working with today. No, now, new, any, many, only, pretty. Okay, so write those down. Okay, now I'm going to give you a list of words with an open syllable. So just as a reminder, an open syllable is a syllable that has one vowel and it ends with a vowel. So for example, I'm going to write these in blue. Those kids out there are so loud. If you can hear it, I'm sorry. All right, let me fix my phone stand. If you hear a clicking noise, it's just my stand. Okay, so we learned open syllables yesterday. An open syllable is any any syllable that has one vowel and it ends with a vowel. For example, the word flu. Okay, it is one, you don't have to do this, one syllable. It has one vowel. Sorry. Miss Chatfield, get it together. Okay. Okay, I got it. Okay, if it is an open syllable, it has one vowel and it ends with a vowel. Sometimes it's just the whole thing. The whole word is one scoop. Okay, but sometimes you get a word, let's say like pretend, and that is two. That is two syllables. How do you know? Because there's two vowels. Okay, so this one would be more than one scoop. Pretend. Only one of these is the open syllable. Okay, only one of them. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, so flew. It is an open syllable and it's a macron. And you use a macron because the U says its name. Now remember, something crazy about the letter U is it has two long sounds, okay? When U is long, it says U. It also can say ew. So like in this word, think to yourself, what sound does the U make? Does it make U or ew? Flew. What's your thoughts? What did you hear? Did you hear U or ew? Okay, hopefully you said ew. Okay, flew. Okay, so you have 8 open syllable words to write down right now. So you have flew, pretend, you do not have to scoop them. Me. I did not write that very neatly because I wrote over the camera. Shy. And that is my hand on my desk. That's not very nice either. I'm going to put commas. Because you know, if you're writing more than one thing in a list, you have to put a comma. Okay. Remote. Hydrate. Like drink a lot of water or things that aren't super sugary. This is very difficult to do. Sorry. Program. And the word unit. Okay, so these are your 8 open syllables that you're going to use today. Flew, pretend, think you know what that means. Me, shy, hopefully you know what that means. If not, please let me know. I will help you with that one. Okay, remote. I want to stop and talk about remote because there's a lot of different options here, okay? Most of you might be thinking about a remote for a TV. Remote can also be like way out far with nothing around. You can be like on a remote island, meaning there's not a lot going on, probably not a lot of technology. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You can be in a remote place in the woods, something like that. So that's another thing that remote could mean. Okay, and then the word hydrate. That means to your body has enough water. You are not super thirsty. Your body's had enough liquid, not soda. Okay, that's what hydrate means. So it's good to stay hydrated, but you just have to write the word hydrate. If you need to change any of these, so for example, you need to say like hydrated, you can, add that suffix. You know how to do that. If you need to use like the word make multiple remotes, you can just, you know what to do, put on an S. Okay, stuff like that. Okay, and then the word program. I was actually not going to explain this one, but then I thought, you know what, there might be some people who aren't sure. So a program can mean a lot of things. If you go to an event, they might hand you a paper program, which usually tells you the order of events that's about to happen. So like if you go to a dance recital, there's probably a program that shows you like, okay, this is first, this is second, this is what dance is going to be third. It could also be for sports. A program might tell you the team's names and the team players. Okay, that's a program. Okay, a program can also be like some sort of event. So when I was little, I went to daycare and we would have like a Christmas program, meaning we would have like a Christmas event. Okay, a program can also be like on TV. What program are you watching? Some people use that in order to say like TV show. So there are lots of uses for the word program. I just wanted to make sure you knew them. Okay, and then the word unit. Okay, unit also can mean a lot of things. You can have an air conditioning unit, which means a single object that maybe does something. Okay, we work on a unit in our book. We're on unit 8. If you know anybody in the medical field, especially a nurse, they might work in the ICU unit, which that's what the U stands for in ICU, intensive care unit. It's a special part of the hospital. Okay, there are lots of different examples for unit. So you get to use it however you want. So now what your assignment is to, on your paper, you have 8 sentences that you are going to write. You are going to write 8 different sentences, each one with one of your sight words and one of your open syllables. So for example, if I were you, I would map this out first. So I would decide, okay, which of these words do I want to write a sentence with no? This kind of no means to know somebody or to know something. It's your knowledge. It's what you actually know from your brain. And maybe I want to use the word potentially, let's say me. So I want to use no and me in a sentence. So I'm going to go to sentence 1. And my sentence is, you can't take this one, by the way. You cannot take this. You can use the same words, but you can't write the same sentence as me. Okay? All right, let's see. Do you know? Circle your sight word that you use. By the way, you don't have to use no on number 1. You can use no on number 6 if you want. I don't care. Do you know me? I'm going to use this right off the bat, and I'm going to underline the open. Actually, I take that back. That's not what I wanted to do. You are going to scoop the open syllable. Now, if this word had 2 scoops, you would need to do 2 scoops. Do you know me well enough? You don't have to use the word enough. What am I doing? Do you know me well enough to tell me what my favorite coffee is? Okay, this is just an example. I'm using the word no, and I'm using the open syllable. Okay, the open syllable has to be marked. So, me is open. How do I know that? There's one vowel, and the vowel is at the very end. Macron. Done. Do you know me well enough to tell me what my favorite coffee is? If you think you know my favorite coffee, put a star and write it out to the side. And if you get it right, I'll give you a piece of candy. When I grade these, I'll give you a piece of candy. Okay, so that is essentially what you're doing. You are using one sight word and one open syllable in a sentence. Quick tip. When you do a word like pretend, you only have to mark the open syllable. So obviously only one of these is the open syllable. You tell me which one. Is it this one or is it this one? You tell me. Okay, last tip. I am not going to be upset with you if you miss a couple of these, or really you only have to do 2. So I'm just going to say do your best with this. Remember, whenever you have a Y that says a vowel sound, Y can say I, like in hydrate. Y can say E, like in baby. Okay? So here, above the Y, you are eventually going to tell me, after you mark up the Y, does it say I with a brief or E with a brief? Okay? You tell me when you put this word in your sentence. When you put this word in your sentence. So, each sentence, 8 sentences, one sight word, one open syllable. Circle the sight word, scoop the open syllable. You only have to mark up the open syllable. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and let me know. It's okay. I have my dinner on it, sorry. It's okay if you interrupt me helping with sight words or red words. It's okay. Raise your hand if you need help, okay? All right. 8 sentences due at the end of class.